Hello, Mrs. Rico's Rainbows. I'm so excited to do another art project with you. This one is called circle trees. So, when we make our circle trees, the first thing we do is take our paper, and I've already drawn the circle for you. We need to write our name inside the circle. So I'm going to write Mrs. Draginnis. Then I'm going to turn my paper over. And now comes the really fun part. Later I'm going to cut my paper, but for right now I'm just going to cover my whole thing with beautiful paint. And it doesn't matter what you paint or how you paint it, but just know that we're going to cut that circle out later so you won't get your whole picture, and it'll be okay. So I'm going to start with orange. And I'm just going to start with circles. Get some more orange. We're using watercolor paints again, just like the ones that you should have at home with your art supplies. I'm going to do some circles that are blue. Blue is my favorite color. I think I probably said that every time we've done an art project together, but it really is my favorite color. I'm going to start making some more circles with the blue. I wonder if when you are painting with watercolors, you notice how the watercolor changes when you're rinsing off your brush. Mine was orange when I used the orange before, and then I rinsed off my blue, and now it's kind of green. Okay, now I'm going to leave this to dry for a little bit. I'm going to close up my paint and clean up my art supplies, and when I come back we will start on the next step of our project. Hey friends, it's been about 10 minutes since I was last talking to you. My paper is pretty much dry now. I just smeared it a little bit because I wasn't paying attention, but it's dry enough to cut. And I cut out some brown paper for us too to use as our tree trunks. So what I'm going to do is turn my paper over so I can see the circle, and then I'm just going to cut the circle out. See, I'm moving the paper instead of moving my scissors. Just turn the paper, and my scissors stay in one spot, so they cut my whole paper. It's a lot easier to cut this way. Okay, now there's my tree. I think it turned out really, really cool. I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to grab a glue stick. And this brown paper will be my tree trunk, and you have one too. Should have come with your white paper. So I'm looking at this, and I think I want my tree to have some branches. So I'm going to cut my paper, not really in half, kind of maybe in 2/5. You'll learn about that someday. So here's my trunk now, and I'm going to plan out where I want my tree branches to go. I'm going to cut this piece to make tree branches. And I cut mine to be different sizes because I want to have different sized tree branches. So I'll do this. I'm going to put some glue on my tree trunk now. And I only need glue on the part that's going to touch my tree. So the part that's going to hang down past it doesn't need glue. So you see that there's only glue on part of there. Then I'm going to place it on my paper tree. Then I need to put my branches on. I'm going to put this one here, I think. That looks good to me. And see how I'm putting it on top of the side that I painted? Because I want to see these branches. So the trunk is glued on top of the tree. Like this. And we'll put this one here. And I want to cover up that piece that I smudged because my paper wasn't quite dry. So I'm actually going to put it right here. And I'll put my last one, I think I'm going to have my last one come off this big one. I think that looks cool. So I will do this. Stick it on here. And that is my paper tree, my circle tree. I think it turned out really cool. So this project is a little bit different because if your family is okay with it, it would be awesome if you could send your tree back to school, and then I will make a big collage with all of your trees from all of the friends who are learning at home and all of the friends who are learning at school in Mrs. Ruechel's classroom. So if you can do it, send your tree back to school with the trunk on it and your name on the back so I know who made the beautiful tree. Then I will stick it on our big collage and we'll have a big Mrs. Ruechel's Rainbow Forest, and it'll be awesome. Okay, I cannot wait to see your projects.